Yeah, this is the old whaling station, this is the boilers.
Welcome to KOLMANSKOP. Alright, so good morning everybody. Welcome to this video. We are still in Luderitz. On the way from KOLMANSKOP to Luderitz, the 890 shocks started leaking, or the seal started leaking. So we have to fix that before we leave Luderitz. So we contacted KTM in Windhoek. They are just reopening, luckily for us, and they actually had the seal kit in stock. So we have asked them to send it to Luderitz because we do not want to ride 500 kilometers with leaking shocks. Werner has been watching YouTube videos on how to replace the seals on the shocks for the whole evening last night. So he's gonna try to do it himself. Luckily Heinz and Wendy, the people that we are staying with, they own a garage here in Luderitz. So luckily we can use their tools, which is a major help. Seals and the oil will be arriving later this morning. So not to waste any time, we actually going to go to KOLMANSKOP, which is the ghost town here in Namibia. And you might have seen the photos of it. It is a abandoned town which is taken over by the desert. In KOLMANSKOP there is a tour every single day, and they advised us to actually go and do the tour just for the fact that you get a lot of information. So we're gonna go there, have the tour, and then we're gonna take you around the ghost town. Welcome to KOLMANSKOP. It's actually known mainly as the ghost town, I think. They found a lot of diamonds here. One person actually found diamonds here, and then everybody came and they started building this town.
This is my favorite building. This was the butchery, and
so they have a butchery on this side, and they have an ice shop on that side. And it's not ice cream, it's actually to produce massive blocks of ice to keep things cool.
And because it's one building, if we go in here, and behind these boxes, there's actually big canisters. That's where the air from the ice factory was blowing in here, and then that made it all cool, and then through these holes they circulated the air. So this was ice cold, and all the meat was hung up here. So now
you've seen the butchery?
I've seen the butchery, but this is a very cool building.
So this is the only reason why the meat stayed nice.
So this is the ice factory, and yeah, so this is actually pretty cool. I'm just going to put this down. But there's a couple of cool stuff here. So this box here, this was actually like the deep freezers, or
it's a fridge.
It's a fridge, or ijskast now, but it's a fridge. So basically it was insulated, the ice box went inside, and then your stuff stayed cool. They had to actually make the ice here. So what they did is they inside here was all salt water, and in these barrels, which looks like this, they would put fresh water in. Then they pump liquid nitrogen through here, and that will make the water ice cold. Salt water does not freeze, and the fresh water freeze. So then you take out this guy after they are frozen, and I take them over here. So in this barrel, they will make a fire there, and then that will be water inside there that will be warm, and then they put them inside. And so that will just separate the ice from the container.
And then you cut it up, and then you put it in your fridge.
Yes.
So this is basically a factory, and the ice blocks were delivered to your door every single day. When we just came out of the ice factory, I told you they get the ice delivered. By that, these trams would be pulled by donkeys, and the tram will be delivering the ice. I think what I want to say milk and bread.
It was the milk bread. They also got lemonade. Lemonade. I think probably the meat. So basically,
your groceries.
The groceries. This was the groceries. Your ice and stuff gets delivered to your house.
So they actually had very good medical care. There's 2 doctors and I think 3 or 5 nurses.
There's 4 nurses.
4 nurses. So there are 2 doctors and 4 nurses for all these 300 people. So it's actually quite a lot. And the funny thing is, apparently, you haven't seen it yet, but apparently there is a room full of wine. There's a wine room.
Wine cellar.
A wine cellar in that house, because the doctor's thought, or the doctor's vision was that everybody needed to have a glass of wine every single day.
Oh, let's go to Millionaire's Lane.
So that's where all the rich people stayed. They had a separate street. But yeah, this is the hospital. This is the only building you're actually not allowed to go into, because the sand is the only reason why it's still standing. So if you walk and you move the sand, it can basically collapse. So that's the only building here that you can't go into. All the rest, you can just walk and do whatever you want. Of course, don't damage it or anything, but you can walk through windows, through doors. So yeah, that's quite nice. So we're going towards the bookkeeper's house after the sand dune. The rest of the morning, we wandered around the houses of the street that was once occupied by the richest people in the town. KOLMANSKOP became a tourist destination in 1980, when they dug most of the houses out of the sand. The houses are surprisingly well preserved, thanks to the sand and dry climate, but you still need to watch your step when you wander around. The town was established after a railway worker discovered diamonds in 1908, and this started the diamond rush. But after a couple of months, German colonial government declared the area restricted and called it the Sperrgebied. It only took 2 years for it to become the richest town in Africa and one of the richest towns in the whole world. In 1911, the town had electricity and boosted some really luxurious facilities for this time. A hospital, a school, a bowling alley, casino, swimming pool and an ice factory. After the area was depleted from all the diamonds in 1928, all the machinery was moved to a newly discovered site, leaving this amazing town to be swallowed by the sands. Today you can visit this ghost town, but the Sperrgebied is still off limits. Wandering in the Sperrgebied can even get you arrested. The town might have lost all its diamonds, but it sure is a diamond for photographers. And it's easy to see why the images captured here has given this abandoned town its fame. So we're gonna make our way back. By now, Werner's kid should have arrived from Windhoek, isn't it?
Yes.
Windhoek. And the rest of the day, Werner can fix his shocks. And then maybe we can go for a ride tomorrow around Luderitz. We only had a short ride back to Luderitz, and luckily the new seals and oil has arrived by then.
Now came the part that's been stressing me out all night. I have never done this before, and trying this for the first time in a remote part of Namibia without any backup was a little bit worrying. But armed with an evening's worth of YouTube tutorials and the determination not to ride on a pogo stick, I grabbed the tools and got to work. And it is always a good start when you need to use a hammer. Working at a pace that would put Formula 1 pit crews to shame, it was not long and the forks were out. With German-like precision, every part was inspected.
See a couple of nicks there and inside here as well. Okay. Know what failed, so it is just the seals, there's nothing serious.
My overnight YouTube degree and razor-sharp focus made quick work of this complicated job. Not having all the right tools, I had to get creative. But as the saying goes, a boer maak 'n plan. And with a little more pounding, the forks were back together and a job well done. With the forks back on, Buddy was ready to hit the road again. Now let's hope I did this right and Buddy did not become an angry bucking stallion.
The next day, Wendy and his son took us on a full day's tour to see all the places in and around Luderitz. Locals always seem to know best, and that got proven again today. They showed us things that are not known to tourists and places we did not find on any map or online.
Standing on top of the world.
We are!
We started at the hill behind town, giving us the best views. Luderitz is well known for its colonial architecture with many historical buildings. It also has a surprising amount of wildlife, such as penguins, seals and flamingos. The town only has one road going in and is surrounded by desert and rocks. We didn't manage to find any trees or other greenery besides the ones in gardens. With lower average temperatures, it is a nice place to be in the middle of summer. Our first stop of the day was to see something they call sand roses. It is also known as a desert rose.
But this whole area is all sand roses.
They are normally found in places where the desert meets the coast. Some well-known locations are Morocco, Tunisia and Egypt. But apparently they can also be found here in Luderitz. The roses are formed when water evaporates from a salt basin. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind dissolved minerals, which then crystallizes. The crystals grow in a circular pattern around grains of sand, which are trapped in the center of the formation, and it can take hundreds of years to form.
Yes, we dug like 3 meters down and then took 2 cruisers, connected them together to try and pull it out. It was a part of we braai here, we got all the bochters here, we got all the cars here, we got ropes, shackles.
Wendy also showed us a desert rose that they found that is so big they have not been able to extract it.
They dig to the waist down and then we tie it the 2 cruisers. No ways. This thing is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling here now. I mean, this.
You can't even break it off.
No, this is like rock. This is the island.
This is a secret island. That everything is built on top of this little...
I'm telling you, it was about a year. Every time we say, come, Sandroos kom vandag uit.
Sandroos.
We have a braai here and everybody's here with their equipment and the kids are digging. So we eventually gave up. So it's still here.
Nobody knows how deep it goes or how wide, but they have dug for several meters without finding an end to it. We then drove further along the dirt tracks, crossing several wetlands where they hold windsurfing competitions, named the Luderitz Speed Challenge. Soon we arrived at one of the more well-known historical landmarks around Luderitz, the Dias Cross. This marks the spot where Portuguese explorers first set foot on the coast near Luderitz in 1488. The bridge leading to the viewpoint has already been destroyed by a fierce Atlantic storm several years before, but luckily the viewpoint can still be reached. The explorer named Diaz was under instructions of the King of Portugal to sail to the southern end of Africa, and he stopped here on his return. As is traditional in his day, he erected a stone cross to mark Portugal's presence in the area, and that cross stood for over 300 years. But the cross that stands here today is a replica, carved from the local dolerite rocks in 1988. Even though the mist and clouds are quite thick, the views from this historical landmark are spectacular.
A little bit chilly.
The next stop on this intense day of touring Luderitz is something more unknown to the normal traveller. An almost non-existing track leads through the bare hills and sand dunes and reveals large rusted barrels lying on the beach. Where was this?
This is the point. You can see it going in here.
Oh, it's a whaling station.
Yeah, this is the old whaling station. This is the boilers.
What, for the blubber?
Yeah.
The oil tank was that tank in the back. That big round one?
Yes.
That was the other tank. Think about how many whales died.
There's a whale boom over there.
Yeah, there. There, on the pillar.
Whale oil had several functions, but the most well-known use was in oil lamps before electricity arrived.
Yeah, the chains worked.
Yeah. Sad though, man.
Yeah.
To get the oil, strips of blubber, bones and meat harvested from the whales was boiled in big pots over a fire. The oil would lay on the top and could be scooped out and stored in barrels. Most of the time, it took place on a large factory ship on the ocean. But if the whales were caught close to the shore, or in the early days when there were no ships that could do the processing on board, the process was carried out on land. The exact function of some of this equipment is guesswork, and if anyone has knowledge about the exact process with this specific equipment, please leave a comment down below. As the day went on, they showed us several other interesting sights. Hidden a few kilometers inland, there's an intriguing hole. They don't know its function, and they don't know if it's man-made.
Everybody has their version of it. It could have been like a prison kind of thing and put people down there.
Just
Chuck them down.
yeah, just like just.
That's possible.
I see beer at the bottom there. Maybe there's a six-pack. We don't know.
None of us know why the hut is actually here and how it got here and what it was used for.
It's an unknown hole. There are also historical sites, such as the old German horse enclosures. You see the packed stones all the way that way. And then I go there again. So that's supposed to be the remains of the horse paddocks from way back when the ships anchored here, back in the day, and they unloaded the horses. And then we'll put them in this flat piece down here. Our last spot of today is a special hidden place on the beach, where the ground is littered by precious stones. We spend way too much time looking at the ground and searching for the most beautiful stone. With a bucket full of precious stones, we headed back to town. Luderitz is certainly an interesting area to visit, and with the privilege of a private tour by the locals, we had the most amazing time here. We hope you enjoyed this rather different episode today. And we do want to thank Wendy and Heinz for the hospitality, and if you're ever in the area and have some time to spend, please contact them. They will be happy to take you on a tour of the special place in Namibia. We will leave their name and contact details in the description below.